Hey everybody, Larry here, back for a quick video that I promised a couple of people. I've been getting a lot of questions about hydroponics because of the rate at which the plants are growing, and there's a lot of curiosity. So I went on a little scavenger hunt today, and I picked up the things as cheap as I could to build an inexpensive hydroponic system. And here's what I came up with. There's 3 Home Depot Homer's all-purpose buckets. These are $2 a piece at Home Depot, and there's 3 of them. And there's only reason there's 3. This would work much better if you could find, and I couldn't find them today in the couple places I went, if you could get buckets that would nest like this, but having the top bucket that went in maybe be 3 gallons instead of 5 gallons. What you're after is a shorter bucket, so when it's nested together you have more room for water. Well, I couldn't do that, so I had to improvise, and I got and cut the bottom out of the 3rd bucket, and when I sit it in there, now when this one sits in there, I have that much room in the bottom for water reservoir instead of just a couple inches. So when I nest all 3 of them together, I have more room in the bottom here for water. Now, this bucket, of course, is simply a spacer. That's all it is. So in order to build this system, take your first bucket. Let's go over the rest of the parts first. An aquarium air pump. This is overkill. This is for a 60-gallon aquarium, but I had it. So I'll use it, and I'm building this for a friend who's also interested. I'm just going to give it to him when I'm done. But this one I think was about a $30 air pump. But about a $10 air pump will work just as well for one system. An air stone to go on the bottom. These are nice. These are these little adjustments to adjust how much airflow goes in, so you can adjust how much air you want going in. You need a little bit of fish tank hose. I believe that's 1/8 inch stuff. You need a little 1/2 inch PVC pipe. You take this one. Well, here we'll go into the first bucket. That's all you need. PVC pipe, the buckets. Here's a little more PVC pipe. That'll be my waterer. That's my dripper, if you can see the holes in the bottom there. You take the first bucket. I used a step bit, and I got a grommet that'll accept a 1/2 inch T. You wouldn't need to have a 1/2, but I had a 1/2 laying around, so I didn't have to buy one. So I just got a grommet and used a step bit to drill in there so I could fit the grommet in and put the 1/2 inch, not T, but elbow in there, and a piece of tube. This is just sight glass. This is just so that you can see how high your water is, and I wanted a maximum here and a minimum here. When you get ready to drain, you simply spin it around. When it gets low, it drains out. Spin it back, refill it. That's one bucket. Second bucket was just the spacer. That's all it is. Third bucket, as you can see down on the bottom, that was, of all the time I spent on this, that was the longest, drilling all those holes. This bucket will hold your growing media, and we'll cover that later. You need a bigger hole. That's for the PVC pipe to go through. And 2 holes that are bigger than the little drain holes, but that's going to be where our air hose goes through. So we'll take one piece of PVC pipe, and I got, I think it was a 5-foot section for like $1.50. And you see, you cut the end off that at an angle. That way when it goes down in your bucket, this angle goes up against the wall of the bucket and allows water to get up in there. And this is just a brass compression fitting collar that I drilled a hole and put it through from the inside. That'll be for an air connection. So I'm going to put some of this stuff together and come back and show you what I've done. Okay, here we go. Now this first piece of PVC pipe that's going to provide your air, as you can see, I've got 2 little pieces of aquarium air hose, and this is just wrapped in electrical tape. just wide enough to completely plug this pipe. And the reason I did this is because as the air goes in the bottom, where I showed you where I put that brass collar in, the air is going to, of course, come up through the water, and it brings water with it. Now, it won't bring enough water to bring it all the way to the top of this big piece of pipe. If I would have used pipe way smaller, I wouldn't have had to use these. But these two little hoses go almost to the bottom. They'll be in the water. And since the air can't come up through here because it's plugged, it'll come up through these two little pieces of air hose, and it'll bring water with it. So what I've done is I've put these together with this pipe coming out the bottom, if you can see right there, with the slanted side. When you put it in, goes up against the side of the bucket. And I will put some more stuff together and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got the air stone in, as you can see. It's completely adjustable. I can turn it down to where there's very little air, or I can turn it up and get a nice stream of air bubbles coming up in the water. Now, why that might not seem to be important, for some of the things I use, it really helps, and it oxygenates the water, so you can leave the water on much longer and you don't have to worry about your roots drowning. The water is full of oxygen all the time as it comes up. I've got the other line hooked to my tube that's going to provide the water right here. As you can see, it's hooked onto this brass sleeve that is placed inside the pipe there. This end will touch the bottom of the bucket, and this will face the wall, and this will allow water to get in. And that's where it'll drain back into the reservoir, through those holes. So I'll set this up a little more and be right back. Okay, as you can see, I've got water in the bottom, and the water can go down through the grow medium when I get there. And the air is forcing, it's not a lot, doesn't need a lot. It needs air, it needs water to come up, doesn't need a lot. It's forcing the air and the water up through these two little air tubes. And I think right now it's time to put some grow medium in, and I'll be back in a second.